When it comes to issues of the heart, women and men, we are not equal. And I'm not talking about feelings. So sometimes I think that men and women we love differently. However, this time I'm talking about the heart, this biological structure that shares many similarities. It's quite similar between women and men, despite small difference in size. However, there are all other differences and we should pay attention to those. The heart attack is still the leading cause of death worldwide. The heart attack is still the leading cause of death worldwide. My God, it's spilling my tea. Hello guys, I'm Dr. Hernandez-Benitez and I'm a scientist. Here you will learn how the woman's heart differs from the man's heart, particularly when we are talking about the heart attack. Biologically, there are many similarities between the heart from women and men. However, also there are important differences, and we should pay attention to those. Despite the heart attack in both cases is caused by a blockage of the artery, it happens that there are biological differences that are associated with how and where the blockage, that plaque of cholesterol that is building up, is formed. It seems that in men, there is more probability that this blockage occurs in main arteries and those that supply the blood directly to the heart, while in women occurs in smaller arteries, in that called microvasculature. Still, this is not clear how it happens, however, it could be microscopic features of how is developed the building up of those blockage in the arteries. So the fact that in women this blockage occurs in the microvasculature also affects how can be treated the disease. For example, in men, because that occurs in main and larger arteries, then the procedure known as catheterism is possible. But in women, because that blockage occurs in small ones, that procedure is usually not possible. Then the treatment should be different. Another big important biological difference is at the hormonal level. And maybe you haven't heard about estrogens. Those hormones are present in the woman's blood circulation. So the presence of estrogens in woman's life seems to interfere with the heart attack. Still, scientifically, it's not clear why is the reason of this, but it seems that it's related with the capacity of the estrogens of make bigger some arteries. And then scientists start to think maybe if we provide estrogens, we can control the heart attack, but it seems that only the natural estrogens are capable to do this in women. So it is still not clear why is this. So there is still room for discoveries over there. However, it's one of the most important differences between the heart attack in women and men. Also, the symptoms that present women and men are different. And the first is related with the age. Usually, men present in average a heart attack when they have 65 years old. But in women, it occurs around 72 years old in average. And usually, this oldest age could be associated also with the hormones, because women are more prone to have a heart attack when they are postmenopausic. So probably the hormonal component also plays a role here. Then let's talk about the actual symptoms when occurs the heart attack. Happens that in men, usually the heart attack occurs very fast. It's something sudden that is presented by a strong pain on the chest, and also could be some pain in the arms. Sometimes could be accompanied by indigestion. And that happened to my father actually. That was one of the symptoms of my father. However, in women, it's completely different. Whereas in man occurs in a very sudden way, in woman it's like a slow motion. Can be that the symptoms even last for weeks. Women, we can have a heart attack and having a chest pain that is more constant, but it's not so dramatic. Or maybe we are more resistant to the pain. But the fact here is that not only is the chest pain, it could be together with nausea, vomiting, with pain in the back, in the jaw. Also could be accompanied by unusual sweating and also unusual fatigue and extreme fatigue with unknown reason. Sometimes, women, we can confund that just with stress. That makes a later diagnosis as well. This leads also to a later treatment. And sometimes, because of that reason, when the heart attack comes, the woman has more probability of dying than the man. Another important difference is regarding diagnosis. When woman presents in a hospital with a symptom of heart attack, one of the parameters that doctors measure is the presence of certain proteins in the blood, and this is called troponin. And happens that the troponin levels are different between women and men, and that can make some bias during the diagnosis and the velocity of the treatment. Despite all those differences, the most important characteristic that is common for both, for women and men, is that both can prevent. In both cases, independently of the heart size, independently of the presence of estrogens or not, the hormonal levels or not, the most important is the prevention. If we can prevent a heart attack, that is something that is similar for both. Both we have the possibility of prevent a heart attack. How we can prevent? By having a healthy diet, by having a healthy weight. Try to keep tracking of our blood glucose, blood pressure, or cholesterol levels and keep them in normal range or values. So making exercise and those all small things or habits that are implied in our daily lifestyle. So guys, I hope in this video you find the what and why are those differences that make a heart attack presenting in a different way in women and men. Not only because the care that you need to take about yourself in your future years, but also for your loved ones. For example, making this video and this series in general was important to me because last year my dad suffered a heart attack. I was close to lose my father when he is still in a very young age, and I think a big part is the stress as well. It's a component. Stress that is linked obviously with a bad diet, physical inactivity caused by different reasons, but at the end that affected a lot, not only my dad, my entire family. That it happens to your family really touches you and change the life of that person that has the heart attack. He had an intervention in a hospital and he finally get in a better shape now. I have the fortune that my dad is recovering of that heart attack and now is following a good diet and trying to keep this regular exercise and obviously with the proper medications. Then I realized it's important to know about the symptoms, but also more important to know about prevention. About that prevention that we can have just by doing our regular habits and being a little bit more conscious about what is a heart attack, how we can prevent it, and how it can change your life. And here, knowing also the difference between women and men. So women don't feel like, okay, men usually have more heart attacks. No, what happens is that men usually have that heart attack earlier in life. And when women have a heart attack that is later in life, women, we have less probability of surviving. So the message is just go for the similarity, the most important similarity here, that is prevention. Thank you for listening. I hope in this conversation you find something useful. And if you have any question, don't hesitate, contact me, and see you next time. Bye.